Welcome to Love God, Love Others. Two words: personal accountability. Realized or not, sin takes place. We should be willing to hold ourselves responsible for our own actions. Learn right and wrong from God's Word by reading 4 chapters a day, except for Sundays, and finish the entire Bible in 1 year. Love God, love others by knowing and growing in truth. Today, we read Leviticus 3 through 6. Leviticus 3 gives life to the Lord. All the fat is the Lord's. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come whenever you live. You must not eat any fat or any blood. You see, the fat and the blood have to do with life, so they are only for God. The fellowship offering can be taken from the herd or flock, lamb or goat, male or female, without defect. He is to lay his hand on the head of his offering and slaughter it, which is a showing of passing on of sin. Fellowship offerings is for thanksgiving or vow to celebrate peace and forgiveness. Question: is there anything I haven't voluntarily reconciled with God? Leviticus 4 shows sin can take place without our knowledge. When anyone sins unintentionally and does what is forbidden in any of the Lord's commands, these sacrifice procedures can get quite specific, but everyone can receive forgiveness. If the anointed priest sins, if the whole Israelite community sins, when a leader sins, if a member of the community sins, surprise, top to bottom, individual and group, sin. Again, placing a hand or hands on the head of the sacrifice takes place ceremonially, passing sin on to the sacrifice. Blood is poured out at the base of the altar with blood on the horns of an altar. Question: have I fallen to unintentional sin? Leviticus 5 shows we can overlook sin. When anyone is guilty in any of these ways, when we speak up to testify as a witness, or maybe touches something ceremonial unclean, or even touches human uncleanliness, gives a thoughtless oath, that's close to home, and carelessly swears to do something, he must confess his sin and pay a penalty he can afford. In monetary order, most to least, female lamb or goat. Next up, if you couldn't afford that, 2 dove or 2 young pigeons. If you can't afford that, 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour with oil or incense on it. Unintentionally sinning is dealing with the Lord's holy sins. A ram is brought from the flock. He must make restitution for what he has failed to do, and add 1/5 of the value, and give the added value to the priest. Question: can I realize just how much Jesus paid for my sins? Leviticus 6 points out mistreatment of our neighbors. If anyone sins and is unfaithful to the Lord by deceiving his neighbor, that means cheats, lies, steals, he must make restitution with a lamb and add 1/5, giving it to the neighbor. Other offering regulations: the fire on the altar must be kept burning. It must not go out. Ashes are carried outside the camp. Aaron and his sons get to eat certain portions of certain offerings as provision for the priests. Question: do I take advantage of my neighbors for personal benefit? Life belongs to the Lord. Take personal responsibility. Don't overlook sin, for everyone has their own issues. Be grateful to God for sending his Son for our ultimate sacrifice when we love God, love others. Everything else is the opportunity to do these two. Until next time.